All right, here we are, guys, at the third long translation of stage 20 of Cambridge Latin. This is going to be broken into two parts for the length of the video, so that's a little bit easier to to sit through. Hopefully, the videos will only be about 10 or 10 or 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and jump into it. One really quick thing: there's a lot of imperfect tense verbs in here, so like habe bot. And I'll be just translating them as simple past verbs in English. So had instead of was having, just because it'll sound weird if I said was having. But just know that when you see a bomba spot, a spot, even if I don't point it out, that it's an imperfect tense verb. Alrighty, so let's jump into it. Fortuna Crudelis, which means cruel fortune. Barbilus uxorem fidelem filium que optimum habebat. And this means Barbilus had a faithful wife and the best son. Okay, super, super good. We have right here, remember that que is an enclitic conjunction. So anything that comes before the que actually goes after it. So optimum is modifying filium, even though they're separated by that and. It's a little bit weird to see when you are used to English, but you'll get used to it after a while. Plotina, uxor barbili, erat femina placida, quae domi manebat. So Plotina, the wife of Barbilus, was a calm woman who was stayed at home. A couple things here. Plotina, there's a famous Neoplatonic philosopher named Plotinus, who was a Greek. So this is probably going off of that same name. And this uxor barbili, the wife of Barbilus, barbili is genitive. This is an appositional phrase. And then this relative clause here, who was remaining at home. Domi is one of those words that we get to see in the locative, a true locative, not a locatival use of the ablative, but it means at home. So very, very, very good to point this out here. She was remaining at home contenta. Sorry, I forgot that last word, contently. So contenta is an adjective. It's the subject of moneybot, but we're going to translate it as an adverb. Who was contently remaining at home. All right, Rufus filius eorum erat juvenis impinger. So Rufus, his son, was an active young man, right? So we have another oppositional phrase, the son of them, not of him, pardon me. That's a genitive plural. So it's both Plotina and Barbilus's child. Rufus, by the way, it's Latin. It means redheaded or ginger, if you will. So they didn't really have redheaded, properly speaking, brightly redheaded people, but they did have certain, like they would say people are blonde if they had a slightly lighter hair color. So even a dark brown would be counted as blonde for them. A slightly reddish brown would be counted as redheaded. Ad palaestram cum amicis saepe adibat. In desertis bestias feroces agitare solebat. So he often went to the exercise ground with his friends, and he was accustomed to hunt ferocious beasts in the deserts. I think that's pretty good. I think I added a possessive pronoun his friends in there for flow. It's not in the Latin, but remember you can do that, especially if you put it in brackets. Okay. Aliquando sicut alii juvenes contentiones cum parentibus habebat. So sometimes, adverb, just as all youths, he had fights with his parents. All right. Sicut right here. So this is an adverbial clause, just as all youths. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty simple grammar right there. Sed parentes rufi eum maxime amabant et ille eos. But they loved him. So but the parents of Rufus's parents loved him greatly, and he loved them greatly. All right, so Rufi's genitive, this is the subject, that's the verb. Eum is the accusative singular masculine form of is a it, because it's referring back to the person that we've been talking about, Rufus. Maxime is an adverb. And then remember for this next little clause here, this coordinated main clause. Ile eos, you have to reuse amabat, so, or the verb amo. So that guy, Rufus, loved them, the parents, greatly. So you wouldn't translate Ile is that guy, you translate it as he. He loved them. And you probably reuse maxime as well. Inter amicos Rufi erat Juvenis Atheniensis Eupor. So among Rufus's friends was an Athenian youth, Euper, and Euper is an apposition to Athenian youth. So they're giving you what he was and then his name. And Rufi is genitive, of course. Hic Euper ad orbem Alexandrium venerat ad medicinae studebat. So this Euper, this fellow named Euper, Hic is modifying Euper, this Euper had come to the city of Alexandria and was studying medicine. So venerat is pluperfect and studebat is imperfect. And studio, the verb, which means to study or to be zealous for, to be interested in, takes a dative object. So that's why medicinae is dative. All right, saepissime domum barbili visitabat. So saepissime is a superlative adverb. So it means he was visiting, or he visited Barbilus's home very often. And barbili is genitive still. Tandem ad orbem Athenas redit. Finally, or at last, he returned to the city of Athens. Ubi artem medicinae excerebat. So where he was practicing the art of medicine. Okay, so this is a place that's describing Athens, the place where he was doing something, which the art of medicine, genitive medicinae is modifying artem, so it's the art of medicine, or medicine's art. Eupor mox epistulam scripsit in qua rufum parentesqua ad nuptias suas invitavit. So Eupor soon wrote a letter in which he invited Rufus and his parents to his wedding. All right, so we get the word nuptials from nuptias, and it's plural. We even have the word nuptials in English to mean wedding. So everything after scripsit is a relative clause, which is describing the epistulam. So the antecedent is the letter. And suas is a possessive pronoun. Rufus ad Graeciam ire valde cupiebat, sed Barbilus navigare timebat, quod james jam apropinquabat. All right, so what that means is Rufus was greatly desiring to go to Greece. So Rufus really wanted to go to Greece, but Barbilus was scared to sail because winter was now approaching. Okay, and yam is now, yems is winter, as the subject of apropinquabat. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the grammar that you need there. Quote is a causal clause, and we've otherwise got two main clauses. They're both imperfect, conjoined by sed. Astrologum sum igitur arcesivit et sentiam eius rogavit. So he therefore summoned, perfect tense verb, his astrologer. Sum is a possessive pronoun. And et sententiam eius rogavit, asked his opinion. So eius is a genitive form of isaid, and it is acting possessively on sententiam, opinion. So therefore he summoned his astrologer and asked his opinion. Astrologus postquam diu cogitavit Rufo parentibusque responsum dedit. So the astrologer, after he thought for a long time, gave a response to Rufus and his parents. Diu is an adverb. Both these verbs otherwise are perfect tense. Remember that everything from postquam to cogitavit is a temporal clause, so it's adverbial. And Rufo and parentibus are in the dative because they're indirect objects. And this is the response. Rem periculosam suscipitis. So you undertake a dangerous thing, or you are undertaking a dangerous thing. Luna Scorpionem jam intrat. So the moon now is entering Scorpio. So this is ancient astrology. And Scorpio is the astrological sign. We still have it around today. Tutius est vobis domi manere. It is safer, Tutius, for you, vobis manere, to remain domi at home. It is safer for you to remain at home. And remember, domi is going to be another true locative. And Tutius is a comparative adjective, and vobis is dative, so dative of advantage or reference. All right, guys, that is the end of the first part of this translation. We'll have the next bit in our next video.